What are the pros and cons of living in Lafayette, Louisiana? Well, I am born and raised from Lafayette area. I'm actually from a suburb just south of Lafayette, so I know everything there is to know about living here and what life is like here in Louisiana. If you don't know me, I'm Drake Abshire, and I have actually firmly put down my roots now. For a part of my life, I'd actually moved away from the area. I lived in California, I lived in Texas, but it brought me all the way back home to hometown. Nothing's like home, and I'm here to tell you guys everything that you would want to know about living here so you can make the best decision for your family and know exactly what it entails with life here. So let's get into it and talk about exactly what you guys would want to know about living here. So of course, Louisiana is like no other place on earth. It can be somewhat backwards, completely like the Wild West sometimes, but there are a few notable points that I thought would be really important to point out to you guys to know specifically about Lafayette. Some things you may find as positive things, and then of course, there are the negative things that we can go over. So let's talk about a couple things that I think are the positives and the really standout things, of course, would be the food. Louisiana, of course, is known for its food, but I would say Lafayette, even more so, is tremendously hands down some of the best food in the country. I can attest to this fact because I've been other places, I've lived other places, and I really feel like once you have cooking here in this area, true Lafayette cooking, if people cook for you, there's no comparison really to anywhere else in the country. They're really gonna like let you down because you'll feel like, man, nobody else can cook like Lafayette people can. We have a real big heart for our food, and we're very passionate about seafood, the flavors, the gumbo, etouffee, all the seafood that's involved, crawfish, oysters, all the things we're known for. I just had royal oysters last night, and they're so good from the Gulf here. And so, of course, don't try ordering gumbo anywhere else. When you get gumbo, you want to get it here from this area. It is amazing, and I even find other parts of Louisiana gumbo doesn't even taste as good as it does here. So specifically, Lafayette is special for our food. Definitely try it. Food is a #1 thing that I think wins most people's hearts when they come here. One of the worst things that is very, very commonly known for this area is, of course, our taxes, the red tape, regulations, licenses, fees, and things that we have. Louisiana is really not easy when it comes to opening businesses and getting licenses and doing things of that nature. So I would say it's really known online as being one of the places that has the most red tape when it comes to things. For instance, we actually have had flooding situations or different things that have happened from the climate, and we have something where it's people that got together out of the goodness of their heart. They called themselves the Cajun Navy. They would get boats and they would launch themselves and go and help people who are stranded or who had situations where they're flooded in their homes. Well, you know, a lot of people love them. They have entire pages that are dedicated to them, and so many people are grateful for them. But of course, you know, what does Louisiana give them? They gave them more regulations, fees or fines, and a lot of red tape for them to go through too for doing the things that they did. So of course, you know, it doesn't really seem fair that those things would happen, but that's one of the things that can kind of tell you what you can expect when it comes to, you know, businesses or anything that you operate in this area. One of the better things, what I would say is a pro about this area is the people. The people are really known for being super nice and friendly. When you're driving down the road, don't be taken back if a complete stranger is waving at you as you pass by or giving you a nod or a kind greeting. Those are very, very common here. People are very friendly for the most part, especially when you compare to places like up north. Anytime I've visited or I've been to places like New York, they usually keep to themselves. They're not quite as kind. And of course here, people are very helpful, very kind. They want to know if they know someone that you know, if you have anything in common. They'll make conversation with a stranger. You might even get invited to someone's home for dinner. They always say the more the merrier for the most part. So I think one thing that you would enjoy is working with Louisiana people. You can make great friends here, and you can meet some very, very cool people. One of the things that people I think know us for is that we do tend to move a bit slower than some places in the rest of the country. I don't know if it's because we just just don't have that metropolitan vibe, if it's more of the southern vibe that we have, and that we just don't seem like we're in a hurry really to get anywhere. There's not really a big rush, and so because of that, you know, you may get frustrated with our speed if you're used to more of a metropolitan type of hustle and bustle when it comes to those things. But of course, yes, Southern hospitality, it's what we do well. It's what you can expect when it comes to people and getting invited over to places. But if you are fast when it comes to food, well, we do have even fast food. We have plenty of fast food places that you can drive and blitz in and out of if you are in a hurry. I don't recommend fast food, obviously, but if that is something that you do enjoy and that you do feel like is a daily occurrence for you, well, don't worry. All of the cities and everything in the areas all have plenty of fast food for you. So Lafayette has chocked full of them. What do I think is one of the cons of this area? Well, I would say is that the people driving can be one of the worst things. I have heard this multiple times, that people that come to our area is that they get very, very frustrated with people. People don't seem to obey yield signs very well. They don't seem to use their turn signals. They don't obey really any speed limits throughout the area. I don't even remember the last time personally I've looked at a speed limit sign. I don't know if it's just the way that we're taught and just the way that people kind of do things around here, but it kind of can feel like sometimes a free-for-all. There are cops and people who are hiding and trying to regulate things, but for the most part, we do have a lot of speeders and a lot of people who are not fully paying attention. And so that is something to keep in mind. People will merge very rudely if they can right in front of you. So keep in mind when driving around or commuting that, yeah, they might not be the most courteous of people when it comes to driving, because maybe those habits just weren't handed down the way that they should have been. Also something, if you're curious, is the quality of the roadways is not great. We do have potholes and a lot of old roadways. So of course, if that is a huge ticket item for you, just expect Louisiana is not known for having beautiful roads or great roadways. They are working hard to improve them, and they're trying to make them better all around Lafayette. We're seeing lots of improvement projects happening, but again, it's going to take years for it to catch up with the growth size that it's had. And I've also noticed that it's not very easy to navigate. It's not really on any type of grid system, and so there's really no tricks of the trade of trying to understand really how to get around Lafayette. There's a few main kind of artery ways that go through everywhere, but traffic is something that you'll deal with, especially along the Ambassador Caffrey area or anywhere where you're trying to get through that center of town where all the shopping and the restaurants are. The traffic tends to build up and you will sit in some. One of the best things about us, I would say, is our climate, but one of the negative things about us is also our climate. That's the crazy thing. So let's talk about what's the positive and the negative about the climate. Well, the positive is in the wintertime, you're super mild. It's not really crazy cold winters that most people expect. They tend to be very temperate. They're not super frigid. They're super mild, and they're not one of those things that are gonna constantly have snow and ice or things. You can really find a pretty pleasant, what feels like a spring or kind of fall temperature that's pretty regular throughout the winter time. But of course, with that climate is the reason why we have the sportsman's paradise, right? We have swamps, we have really good agriculture in the area, and we have plenty of outdoor things that you can do, such as sport fishing. You can do lots of hunting. They have duck, they have deer hunting, all of those types of things, and of course all kinds of fun fishing. There's swamp areas and different estuaries and rivers, and there's the bay that's not far if you're looking for salty seafood. So there's really a plethora of options on the outdoor side, and even just boat riding. That's even a fun thing to do. The climate is usually pretty great for those things. It's always feeling like summer, I would say, for a good part of the year. It does get pretty warm, so that is one of the things to keep in mind. But let's talk about the worst part of the climate, right? Well, we do get torrential rain sometimes, which can cause flooding. We are near the coast, so you do have the ability of hurricanes coming through. The good news is that the hurricanes, they warn you well in advance, so you don't have to worry about them coming plow through without any suspecting preparation. It's not like a tornado. You have time to prepare, and unless you're really getting a direct hit from it, they usually just cause a lot of wind, a lot of rain, maybe some branches or shingles down, nothing too torrential or devastating devastation, those are pretty rare. So really, if you're a person who really enjoys like a cool, really temperate climate, then Louisiana is probably not for you. Mostly, and a good part of the year, it's humid and it's warm. So if you're one of those people that likes cool and doesn't want to be out fun in the sun, then yeah, you're gonna probably struggle a bit here, because that's what we mostly have is sun, clouds, heat, humidity, and that's most of our weather throughout the year. The winter time, really any kind of winter that we have just kind of comes and goes. It's a few days, and then after the temperatures regulate, it's back to normal. One of the best things that people seem to love about Louisiana, not me in particular, but Mardi Gras is actually a very big festival here that people love. It lasts what feels like weeks or almost months sometimes. They have all these Mardi Gras balls and parades and different things that happen. It's lots of fun for the family and kids, as long as you're staying safe and don't party too hard. Again, remember what we talked about, the regulations and the red tape and things. Well, if you party too hard, you're going to end up with your butt getting in trouble. So police are always there and watching and monitoring things to make sure that the public intoxication doesn't get too wild. But of course, you know that's going to happen anyway with that much drinking and that many people being outside and just, you know, being in the parade type situations, large crowds, the trash, all of those things are things that you can think about with that comes with Mardi Gras season. So some people enjoy it, some people don't. You would have to try it out and see it for yourself and see if it's your speed. Well, another con that I would say about, you know, Louisiana and Lafayette in particular is, of course, that we're kind of known for having a really tough legal system. You party too hard at these festivals, or you're just doing things that break the law, our legal system can be really, really tough. So something to keep in mind is that it's not a secret that really Louisiana is the prison capital of the world. We really do have a lot of people, and they don't realize how we really stack up with all the prison systems and different things that we have in the area. But we really stack the deck really high when it comes to convicting people for crimes in different situations. Something that might be of notable interest is we're the only state in the country that actually allows a non-unanimous jury verdict in non-capital hard labor felony cases, and requiring only 10 out of the 12 jurors to agree. That makes it a lot easier for people to get convictions, and it makes it easier to keep our for-profit prisons filled while generating a whole lot of money for a small group of very powerful people who are really just interested in trying to keep people locked up in the parties themselves and throwing away the key. Of course, it shouldn't mean too much to you if you're a common citizen. Just don't break the law, and it keeps you out of that system. You won't have any trouble. Don't get in fights. Don't do anything violent. Be good to your neighbors. Be a good citizen if you're going to move to this area, and you're going to be home free on that end. One of the best things that I would say about Louisiana is, of course, the community. We really do love Louisiana culture, and we do really love our people. One thing that you can count on us for is that if there are disasters, we do very, very much so come together all to help each other. If there are hurricanes or just any types of natural disasters, it is known that we charge right in, and we want to help as much as possible. Doesn't matter if we know you or not. We are all about helping even strangers and people that are in tough times. So the one thing I do enjoy about the community is it does seem stronger here than other parts of the country. We tend to care about each other. My personal experience, I have an amazing neighbor who I feel like watches my house for me when I'm not home, and I never asked her to. It's just very kind of her that she's watched my packages and noticed when I've been gone for a couple days and grabs them for me without me even asking, and has them for me when I got back from a trip. All of those types of things I've just thought were so kind and so considerate, and keeping watch for each other, and it just overall improves the community. And of course, we have things like I talked about earlier, the Cajun Navy, the fact that, you know, this group of people came together just because they want to help in hard times. And so that shows you the type of people and community that you can build here. But overall, a couple of other pros that I think you would really find notable is, of course, we have low property taxes, which is really great for the area. We have race diversity, which of course is really common in this area. Low risk of severe storms or anything like earthquakes or tornadoes, things of that nature. We don't really have a lot of wildfire risk. That's also very low compared to other parts of the country. We have a low cancer mortality rate. I know that also is something that is very, very notable, especially if your healthcare is your thing. We're also known in our school systems for having high reading and language arts in elementary schools. So that's actually something that's very notable about the Lafayette area. Also, we've had a lot of spelling bee finalists who've actually lived here. So that's also really great, showing some of the things that excel in our school systems. But of course, if you guys have any other questions, or if you thought of anything that would be helpful to know about Lafayette, please let me know in the comments below. All of my details and everything you need to know about me is in the description. You can book a call with me, text me, email me. Me and my team would love to connect with you to help you learn more about Lafayette and all the wonderful areas here. Call us. We'll even be happy to give you a tour if you're in the area briefly, and we can tell you everything you need to know, show you all the places that you want to live, and of course it's home to us, and we would love to open it up to you. But thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.